found New Friends, my podcast. I'm Jordana, I'm 20, I live in Nashville, and I moved here right after graduating high school to pursue my dream of being a singer-songwriter, which basically means I skipped the whole college thing and dove headfirst into trying to make music and make sense of life at the same time. I started New Friends because I wanted to create the kind of space I've always needed, a place to talk about the things we're all trying to figure out: friendship, confidence, self-worth, following your own path, and everything in between. Some episodes are solo, some are with guests, sometimes the conversations even turn into songs, but every episode is rooted in honesty, vulnerability, and feeling a little less alone. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to New Friends. Hey, welcome back to another episode of New Friends. I am so excited for today's episode. It's going to be really different than all the other ones we've done so far. I have my amazing, talented friend, Courtney. Courtney is an incredible makeup and hair artist. We're going to do a little, episode while she does my hair and makeup for a content shoot later. So we'll probably break it up into 2 episodes because it's a little long of a process.
A little long. Yeah.
But Courtney has so much knowledge, so I've asked her to share her tips and tricks, and I don't know, we also just have the most fun conversations. So I'm so excited for this to be a podcast episode. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Guilty was the very first music video I remember that we did together.
Yeah.
Because we did that epic
And that
ponytail
was- oh my
that
gosh,
sealed the
iconic.
deal for us all.
Also,
Also,
was that
I always
ponytail?
take a little bit of micellar water and wipe off your whole face just because
Okay.
you just want to make sure it's all clean and there's no old residue or anything on your face. So close your
Nice.
eyes. This is just like a nice hydrating mist. Like I said, I want your skin as hydrated as possible and then you can spray it on your body. This is the Embryo Lease. It's an old school classic. It's funny because in makeup school, this is what we've been using for my entire career. But I feel like now the TikTok girlies have gotten a hold of it and now it's viral.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is. And as you can see, I'm really working this in. I do not skimp on the moisturizer step. And I love using my hands. Of course, I always wash and sanitize my hands before, but you really want to work it in. Because I want to feel like she doesn't have a single dry spot on her entire face. Under her eyes, especially right here, on the nose folds. I want to make sure I'm getting in there, and I feel like I just work it in.
I didn't know that was what it's called, the nose folds.
I guess, is that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
It is.
I did not know that.
I really
The
get
more
in
you
there.
know.
And I'll even rub underneath the eyes, and then I'll do a separate eye cream, but I do the eye cream right before I do concealer.
Mm-hmm.
So this I just I'll even the rest on your body, just nice, just get it all rubbed in.
Mm-hmm.
And now already your skin already looks like it's glowing and so much healthier.
So much more moisturizer than I feel like you would think to use.
Totally. I was gonna say I definitely go a little bit above and beyond with the moisturizer because like I said, it's just gonna allow your skin to feel that much more plump and hydrated, and then everything's just gonna sit so nicely on it. If you are super oily, you have kind of normal combo skin, you really don't have super oily skin or anything like that. If you did, I would not use this much moisturizer. But you are a little bit, you can sometimes veer on the dry side.
Yeah,
depending
I
on the
agree
weather
with
and
that.
stuff.
Mhm.
And so then I know how to, like I said, that your skin can handle it. But if someone was super oily, I probably would not, just because then yes, you are going to be blotting that all throughout the day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So before I do makeup, I always start with brows first. I do that because we always use a really good spiking glue. I love the Got2b. This, this is still my go-to favorite. There's so many that have come on the market, but to me, this is still the holy grail.
I didn't realize that you do that first.
I do, and the
good to
reason
know.
I do it first is this, because a lot of times with these types of glues or the eyebrow serums, there gets a little bit of residue in them, and if you do them last and you brush it through the hairs, I feel like it gets in your foundation.
Yeah.
And it does a
And then it
weird
looks,
thing. It looks a little crusty.
Crusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This way I'm able to do your brows first, and then I'll take a Q-tip and clean up
Okay.
around it so that it's completely clean.
That's good
And
to
there's
know.
no residue, so then that way when I put
Yeah.
the foundation
Uh-huh.
on, it's nice.
Okay.
You have absolutely perfect brows that we really don't do hardly anything to your brows. We really do just...
I feel like that was one of the biggest things that when I started working, because the first shoot I ever did with a makeup artist, she literally she painted my brows on. You would have thought I had
Brows and no face.
You look like Oscar the Grouch.
pitch black.
See, and to
thick
me,
brows. It was
eyebrows
horrible.
are almost the biggest thing that goes wrong
Yes,
and
I
can completely
agree.
change your face.
Because the rest of it, like, I couldn't even look at the rest of it and be
Exactly.
like, oh, she did the rest well. It was like, oh my
the brows
god,
are so distracting.
I'm sorry, this is just like, I can't.
I'm not sure. That's definitely a makeup artist thing where a lot of times they just want to go a little bit heavier. And it is like finding that balance of like adding a little bit of structure but keeping it natural. And I've always found that if you keep the front pretty much as is, and I just maybe if there's a sparse spot, I'll fill it in. It's just a hair. And then really just keeping, if I add any color, it's pretty much to the tail only. I feel like that keeps it really natural. I don't want that like crazy spiked up look. To me,
That was like, I feel like that was a thing for a quick second.
it definitely was, and it was a
Like
very
a trend.
editorial
Yeah.
look. And for certain shoots, I love it. I think it's like so cool and editorial looking. I will say in general, on a normal person,
It
just
looks
walking
weird
around,
to me when
it
someone
looks,
like,
it just looks like your brows are flying away. Like they're about to like take flight.
so real.
Like I said, I'll take a Q-tip, and then I just go around them and make sure that any residue that was on the skin is gone.
That's definitely a step I've been missing.
Yeah,
We met on the Guilty shoot,
we did.
and that was a 3-day shoot. And I feel like people don't really, like, hair and makeup is an industry that a lot of people don't know a lot about. But it's predominantly in, like, major cities where there's music video shoots going on, photo shoots, like, product shoots, like, movies and TV obviously have people, or maybe not obviously.
Yeah.
There's people that are doing hair and makeup for everyone who's on camera.
Definitely.
And it's become something too that I feel like has become a little bit more of a industry for like, because people, like regular people are doing like maternity photo shoots, engagement photo shoots, wedding photo shoots. So like it's starting to become a little bit more common of a like thing to have someone do your hair and makeup.
Yeah, definitely. I
But-
think with social media too, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Because people are wanting to like post so many more things.
Yeah. But like for the most part, I feel like it's an industry that unless you're in an industry where you're like on camera, you wouldn't really ever see someone like getting their hair and makeup done. And I feel like it's very different when you're doing it on camera versus like in person, because the amount of makeup that you have to do is just so much more.
Yeah, and I say yes and no to that. I'll be honest, that whole rule of like, you might look a little crazy in person, but you'll look great in pictures, I don't necessarily completely jive with. I feel like it has to be a balance where yes, it will be a little bit heavier than probably maybe what you're used to in your everyday. Also, as you can see, like I said, I literally just did the smidgiest amount in your tail, and that's it. I mean, I literally don't put it anywhere else. Just because your brows are so nice and full, there's just no need for it. If you put too much, it's just overkill. But yeah, I think that there has to be a balance where you still look good in person and you feel like yourself and you feel like, okay, I look, you don't want to be at a wedding and you're like talking to someone and you just feel like you have a mask on your face. You still want to, like I said, still feel like a good version of yourself. And I think that comes down to skin. I think that the way you do skin really determines how heavy a makeup will feel. And I think you can, if you keep the skin really light and fresh, you can do like a really dramatic look and still have it look like really nice in person. But yeah, definitely, like I said, because of social media, this is just a little bit of a lip mask, just rub that in. People have started doing their glam for a lot more things just because they want to post a lot more. I also think because of social media and TikTok, people are more and more knowledgeable on hair and makeup, and I think they're a little bit more informed. And they kind of are seeing the importance of it. And maybe not even importance, maybe just people are, like I said, becoming more aware that hair and makeup is something that, a lot of people are doing, and they want to be a part of that.
Industry. I also feel like it's crazy because growing up, like when I would, I got my hair and makeup done like maybe a few times when I would have like prom or whatever, and every single time it would just look horrible. Like I would get it done and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I have to take this all off, because like in small cities, I feel like in little, well, not even in like small cities, but like in like suburbs, it's like you're not necessarily gonna find people who like have all this knowledge about hair and makeup. But then when you get to like cities where there's a big industry, it's shocking. Like, I mean, not shocking, but it's shocking how incredible the hair and makeup artists I think
there's obviously a lot more talent in the bigger cities, because the people who are super talented, I think move to the bigger cities because they want to do more, and they don't just want to do like smaller like weddings or like you said, like prom and stuff like that. They want to upgrade and do bigger things, which also means, you know, more money. And so those people do move to the bigger cities. And yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, there's still that stigma of like in the wedding industry of, you know, getting a makeup artist for the wedding day and like you're forced to like get your hair and makeup done and people are unhappy with it. And well, I mean, there's so many insanely talented bridal artists out there. I mean, so many. And sometimes I think they're some of the best artists because it's hard doing a bride and like doing like random people that you've never, you know, like I've worked on your face for years now. So I know kind of how to do your face in such the right way. And I've had time to like perfect it.
And a lot of it is really unspoken, like the things that you like about doing your makeup for yourself, like sometimes it's hard to articulate that to an artist.
Totally.
So when like an artist is just, you know, doing your makeup for the first time and they don't know what you like and you can't quite articulate it, then they might do something that is really pretty but you don't like it for some unspoken reason that you can't really tell them.
Oh, 100%. Because the makeup is also so subjective to where it can look absolutely beautiful, but if there's something about it that doesn't feel like you, or like I always say, like I usually ask people before I do them, I'm like, is there anything that you need that is like a signature that you need to have in order to feel like yourself? Like maybe it's a waterline eyeliner, maybe it's a wing liner, maybe it's a really like, you know, bold lip. Like what is like your thing that you need in order to like kind of feel like yourself? Because I do feel like I said, someone can do an absolutely gorgeous makeup. Some of the most talented makeup artists in the world can do a gorgeous glam, but if you kind of just feel like not yourself, it's just not gonna be like hit for you.
Even super tiny things, like even when we were working together for years, remember that one shoot where like my body was so much more tan than my face, and I think that was something that I realized afterwards is like my face is typically lighter than my body, and even
right now it's a little bit
like it just naturally is lighter than my body, and especially when I get tan, because my face doesn't get as tan as my body does. Like if you make, which is a industry standard to make the face the same shade as the body, then it doesn't look like how I usually look, and so then it's like a little bit, wait, this doesn't fully look like me, and that's not something that I would have ever known to articulate beforehand.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was a prime example of, like you said, something where you're like, I know that I'm not 100% like the same color, but I prefer that because, like you said, I feel more like myself. And I do feel like, you know, it is hard to sometimes, not even like to speak up, but like to find the language to say that.
Because you don't even think about those things.
You're not even, it's not something that you're considering, or even until like it's done, and then you're like, wait, why does this, like you said, like not quite feel like myself? And so as you work with someone more and more, you kind of figure out that way to like articulate those things, and you just find those nuances of someone's face where, like I said, a bridal artist, especially doing like just like all the bridesmaids, they're meeting those people for the first time. You also have to realize they're on a time crunch.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like they have like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Like an hour is like, you know, they have an hour, that's a long time. Sometimes they're like 30 to 45 minutes to basically do someone's whole face that they've never seen before. And that's not an easy task.
Crazy. My manager also, he was so shocked when I was like, yeah, we need like 2.5 hours at least
for hair
and makeup. He's like, what could you possibly need 2.5 hours?
You're like, you know, you would be surprised.
You would be surprised. You also, it's so unfair that men don't need any of that time. They can literally be ready in like 5 minutes.
Actually. Okay, so really quick, I just want to, so I put a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury, the Flawless Filter. I do love this one. This is the Too Fair. I just put a little bit like all in your high points. The same thing. It's just going to like make your skin kind of come through the foundation. Because I also do a very light foundation on you as far as coverage, so I want that glow to kind of like shine through. And then I just put a little bit of the primer, like just like an eye primer. I love this Thrive one. It's just like a nice primer that will make sure that your eyeshadow doesn't crease or anything like that. I'm gonna now just go in with your foundation, and kind of like we were talking about, you like your body to still be like, I kind of find the balance of like, I don't like keep it this light, but I'll kind of just find that balance of like evening it out so it looks like it all belongs together, but it doesn't look like disconnected. And so I just go like maybe like a shade darker than your face. I'm just gonna kind of see, like this is a little bit light. Turn your face. And so I usually add in, this is the Face Atelier. I love this one. It's just a very natural, like skin light finish for this. That's like a little light. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the like I said, I mix as an artist shades, which is nice because obviously I can just kind of sit there and customize it. But yeah, this is called Face Atelier, and like I said, it is a pro foundation that I love, but it's a little bit harder to get your hands on because you can only order it online, or like here in LA, you can go to Nigel's, like Nigel Beauty is in the Valley, and you can pick it up there. But what I will say is, because I always get asked, like people are always like, what is the foundation? I love it.
Yeah.
But it only has like, I think 12 or 13 shades, and then you kind of mix them. So it's amazing for like a pro, but sometimes it's not the best like consumer friendly product. But I do love some of the ones that I love are the House Labs one. That one's like really pretty and like really natural. So yeah, so like that is like, it's a little bit darker than your face, but it's not quite as like
as dark as
tan
like
as your body.
arms, yeah.
So I feel like that's a really good happy medium. So I basically take a small brush. I love, this is a Thrive like dual-ended brush, and I will first just kind of take it, and I mostly put it on the perimeter of your skin because I don't want a lot of product on like the center of your face. So I'll just kind of go in with this first, and just kind of, and it's like I said, a very light layer. I do feel like as a professional, we're taught to work in like light layers, where instead of just like putting on one heavy, you know, bunch of foundation, we're gonna work a little bit, like I said, in layers, and do like a little bit of foundation, then add in your concealer, and that way it makes the makeup last, which is also kind of tying into your manager talking about how long it takes. One of the reasons it does take so long is because in order to make it last all day, you do have to work in layers, and you're not just like slapping on one product and then you know, calling it a day. We are kind of like layering in different things, and then powdering on top, and then adding powder or creams again on top of that to bring the skin back, and all that is done intentionally in order to make sure that it lasts a long time, but that it also stays natural looking. And I do feel like in your everyday life, you don't necessarily take the time to do that many layers.
It's like one foundation, bronzer, blush,
called a day, run out the door.
Literally.
She is done.
She is done.
But it really does like make such a big difference, and like, you know, especially like you said, when we're on set and you're, I mean, I remember we did a music video for your Christmas video, and I remember that was like a really long day. And I remember your last shot, it was like a close up, and I remember being like, the skin still looked like so fresh and like flawless, and it's because I use such little product and like in light layers that you're then able to also lightly touch it up throughout the day, but without it ever looking like heavy or cakey.
And hair and makeup for shoots, like music videos, or like when you're on set for products, or like TV and stuff, those are like 12-hour days. Like you might be starting your makeup at like 6 a.m. and wrapping till like 10 p.m.
Definitely. And you want to leave space, like I said, to do touch-ups, because you're gonna, you know, you might, if it's a music video, you might be sweating a little bit.
Oh my gosh, do you remember that music video that we shot outside at that school in Nashville?
I don't want to talk about that.
PTSD.
I have PTSD from that shoot, but yes.
At the end of the shoot, Courtney was like under the bleachers, fanning herself.
It was literally
giving up on the makeup. I mean, I was like sweating.
No, I did give up on the makeup. I was just like, yeah, this is.
At a certain point, there's nothing you can do when you're sweating so profusely.
Sweat. Exactly. I was just gonna say, when you're in like 100 degrees and like high humidity, there's just nothing that's gonna help keep your foundation. Honestly, it's almost better to like just let yourself sweat and then just kind of like blot it out with like a paper towel, because if you add any other makeup, you're just gonna make it all cakey and it's not gonna look great. So I'm now just taking like a little sponge and basically just like blending that out, and you can see, I mean, it basically looks like your skin still.
Yeah.
You really can't even see where there's like makeup.
Oh, you know what? One question I had, because I have some rosacea on my cheeks. What do you recommend for like making that, you know,
less noticeable?
Less noticeable.
I will say, like, for like me personally, when I do your makeup, because I'm like also I know where your redness is, which is kind of like right in here, and it's usually enough for me to just go over with a little foundation, and then I'm gonna do a blush, a bronzer, and to me you really don't see it, and I'm able to just, like I said, kind of get away with, because I'm gonna do a blush and all that. If you were to do a very natural look where this was like all you're doing and you're running out for the day and you wanted to cover a little bit of redness, I love like some of the green correctors. There's one from Is It My French? Is It My French has a brand at Sephora, and she has like this green serum that you basically put over your face before you go in with foundation, and I love it so much. It just like neutralizes the redness, but still looks like so skin-like, and just it's so pretty, and it has like a little bit of, I think, like reflective particles in it, so it just like makes your skin look really dewy and hydrated, and it just, like I said, neutralizes the redness a little bit, and then you can just put your foundation right on top. Because that's what I would do. I would do like a little bit of a green corrector, but there's so many new on the market now that are like just really good formulas that allows you to, it just looks like skin, and then you can put that on. Because otherwise, like I said, even with yours is not like super red, so even a little bit of foundation does kind of just even that out.
Yeah.
And like I said, once you have blush, honestly, I kind of like it sometimes because it just adds like a natural like flush to your face. Okay, so I'm gonna go in. We're gonna do your eyes. Now, I keep your eyes typically, unless it's for like a very specific shoot, or we want to do something a little bit more dramatic. I do usually keep them pretty light. Also, so the order of things that I do makeup, I usually do start with brows. I skin prep, do the brows. I do foundation because I like to have you have like an even base, and I like to kind of see your skin evened out. But now I go in and do the eyes. That way, if you get any fallout, if there's anything underneath, I can still go in with concealer and clean up all that. But like you already have like a base on.
Yeah.
And I've always done makeup like that, where I like to have the foundation on first, because to me, you actually end up doing less makeup on your eyes because you look more even. You know how like you're like have no makeup on, and you're like, oh, I just kind of look like not like that great right now. And so then you start adding stuff on your eyes, and you add more and more because you're like, I think I need something more. When really it's just your skin needs a little bit of something.
So true.
I like to just do the foundation first, then I feel like I do less on the eyes. So I usually take a pencil. This is of course I've used a ton of this, the Makeup by Mario, the Perfect Brown shade. And I like to tight line, which is actually, so open your eyes, look down. I just go like right in between your lashes. And I kind of just like, this is a really easy way to make your lashes look fuller and to kind of give that appearance, look that way, of like some definition without it looking like you're necessarily wearing like eyeliner. And
How do you do that when you're doing it yourself?
You would look down, and then you're basically,
It's like doing it by feel, right? Not really looking.
no, I mean, if you're like looking in a mirror, you would basically look down, and then, yeah, you would place it, like you would almost like take your eye like this, pull it up, and then put it just in between, you know? Like you just go like this. Because like I said, it's not like technically tight lining. People sometimes think it's like on the waterline, like right here on the top lid. That's not correct. And it's also not like an eyeliner. It's actually in between your lashes. And I literally will just draw little like dots kind of in between.
Yeah.
And this is also a great thing for like, I don't want you to look like you have this like heavy eyeliner on, but I do want you to have a little bit more definition. It's like a really nice trick.
Totally.
And then already it looks like, you know, just like a little bit.
It's just more pronounced.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what do you do? Because I find that when I try to curl my lashes, sometimes they're just going in all these different directions and I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's just a matter of taking the eyelash curler and like really just doing some heavy lifting. You gotta like put some elbow grease in there and sit there, and I feel like just go over and continue to
like just keep doing it until
I mean, obviously a heated one might actually help.
Oh, I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, I don't have one in my kit. I don't necessarily carry one, but they do work really nice, and it might not be a bad idea like that way. For someone like you said, like where like you have to try to get them all to behave. Also, I love to take the eyeliner and like smudge it a little bit in the outer corner just to kind of give a little bit of like a lift to the eye. Sometimes I'll literally just take a little bit, see it like it's almost like a little crayon. I just like draw a smidgy in the corner, and then I just like, it's like almost foolproof, and then I just take a little brush and like kind of blend that in. And it's like the easiest trick that makes you look like your eyes are done, but you basically did nothing. Like it just kind of like lifts your eye a little bit and makes you look like I said, you did something.
Do you put on something underneath the eyeshadow to like make it stay? Like a
Yeah, I put on a primer.
Okay.
We did the eye lift. I do the
Okay,
just like
gotcha.
a Thrive one. I do put on a primer just because it does help it last. And I will say with you, I don't necessarily do a ton of like shadow and stuff, and so I do think it just helps it kind of to not budge. But honestly, this is kind of one of my favorite tricks to like even if we just put on mascara and called it a day, you look you're already it already looks like you have a nice little eyeshadow on. And this is to me like the simplest trick. And like if I have no time in the morning and I'm like, okay, I just want to like look a little bit more alive, this is literally what I do.
Okay, so that was what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, if someone only has a few minutes, like 10 minutes or whatever, to do a quick makeup look, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them to just put on like a quick little like CC cream or just like a little something like a skin tint, something just to even out their skin. And then I do think a little bit of concealer under your eyes, and then brush your brows up. I love a lip liner, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you don't even have to do anything else. If you just have a little balm and you take a little lip liner that's something like close to your natural color. I love this one, and this is what I'm gonna use on you today, which is the Mario. It's the Rich Mauve. It's very like your lips but better. I love just doing like a little bit of a lip line and then taking my finger and buffing it out, and it just automatically makes you look finished. And then just a little mascara and this, and that's it. That's like all I would do. Maybe a little bit of cheek. I mean, if you're like got 10 minutes, you know, I'm like, you could do a little, you know, because I do think, like I said, people spend the most time on the eyes, but just doing this, like I said, already it's just like, it already looks almost kind of like
to just start doing that.
Easy. And I just will then basically take a little bit of neutral shadow and I just kind of go over a little bit where I put that eyeliner just to kind of enhance it and like kind of blend it out a little bit. And obviously I would do this because you're like filming today and, you know, I'm trying to like perfect it, but I'm telling you, if you were just like running errands, you don't even need to do this. Like I said, just doing that little bit of eyeliner in the corner, it's just such a simple, pretty look. Yeah, I pretty much also, you'll kind of see, I don't even really do a crease color. I kind of just keep it on this outer corner. And you'll see once I clean it all up, but it kind of then just like elongates your eye and kind of gives it that like, you know, a little bit of that like pulled up fox eye look that everybody always likes nowadays.
What are the things that you feel like you're seeing in makeup trends now?
Well, like you said, I do think it's becoming more about like the skin and really making that look beautiful and fresh, and then the eyes are staying really neutral and just simple. I think people are sticking to just like a little bit of eyeliner, like mascara, and like really kind of keeping things more natural in the eyes, and then like letting the skin really shine. And I feel like I said, it's kind of taking a less is more approach. I also think that has a lot to do with the trends in like aesthetics and like fillers
the clean
and
girl look.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people are now doing things to basically make their skin look better. Just, you know what I mean, with like enhancements and doing like the Botox, the filler, and kind of like doing all those things. So then when they come in with the makeup, they just need like little touches here and there. Instead of back in the day, I feel like we were fully sculpting and creating something with just makeup. Nowadays, people are doing that with like, you know, all these different aesthetic treatments.
It's kind of crazy to look back at things from like TV shows like Gossip Girl, which was what, like 2012, and they have these like bright green eyeshadow, bright blue,
purples.
Like,
back in the day, we would like, oh my gosh, like everything was like a big purple eye, or like all around the eye, like a blue, or like it was such.
Or
so
I also
colorful.
noticed that like in some of those shows, it was literally only on the lid of the eye. Like you wouldn't really do like under the eyebrow. Was that like a
wait,
trend?
under the eyebrow? Say it
Like
again?
meaning, so you would do it just on like the lid of your eyeball. Like you wouldn't do it above your eye.
Crease.
Like,
yeah,
above
like
your crease.
nowadays, are you saying?
No, but back then, like it would be a colored eyeshadow that was like
Just on the lid.
On the lid.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people would do like a crease color, and then they kind of would just like, keep that like impact just on the lid, and that was like it was almost like when you'd open and close your eyes, you just like see that color. Which also, I mean, this is, so for your eyes, I really do keep them like pretty basic. I mean, this is just that little bit of eyeliner smudged out, and then I just took a little bit of eyeshadow to just kind of, you know, give it that shape. And then when I go in with concealer, we'll like make it even more distinct. But then I love taking just like a highlighter palette. I mean, this is my favorite palette of all time. It's just like the Dior Universal palette. And I love taking like even like the gold or the bronze, and I'll literally just take my finger and then I'll put just literally a dot like right in the center of your lid. Because you do also like love that, like where your eyes kind of look like they're twinkling a little bit. It's funny because your mom, I remember once on one of your shoots in the beginning, she said something to me where she was like, oh, you make her eyes look like they're twinkling. And then one time we like didn't do it, and she was like, she doesn't have that twinkle thing. I was like, she's talking about like the shimmer in the center. And I was like, okay, we gotta always like, that's like something we always do.
Yeah, it's like a signature.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny, and it's something that you can't really articulate, like, or we probably didn't articulate because you don't even know.
You don't even know what you're looking for.
But then you see something that you're like, ooh, wait, I really like that.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, I'll literally just put a little bit in the center, and it just adds a little bit of light to the center of your lids, so then that way just kind of brightens it up a little bit. Close your eyes once. And once again, it looks like you did so much more. Like, it looks like you sat there and did like a whole thing on your eyes, and it's like, no. It's just literally like 2 little products, and it's just like a little bit of something on your eyelids. Okay, so then we're gonna try to curl these lashes and see if we can get a handle on these bad boys. Okay, so yeah, I love this eyelash curler. It's the Surratt one. It's my favorite eyelash curler ever. We like to do a little bit of some like trio lashes, and I always tell people you don't want to curl your lashes too much when you do like a little bit of lash, because then it will like push the lashes out.
Oh.
So you want them to be curled, but you don't want them necessarily to be like uber curled. Yeah.
You know what else you taught me?
What?
Eyelashes regrow. My mom would always say, don't like pull out your eyelashes. You're gonna like have no eyelashes because they don't regrow.
Oh my gosh. Randy.
I swear, I was so like nervous when eyelashes would come out. Like make a wish on your eyelash. My wish was that no more eyelashes
would fall off. You didn't think they were gonna come back?
I'm telling you that they don't regrow. But
You did tell me that.
Oh my gosh.
that's because your grandma used to fall asleep without taking her makeup off.
Oh,
and that was
no.
a bad thing. I was trying to make sure you didn't do that.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yes, they definitely regrow.
Thank God. What's your take on eyelash extensions?
I mean, I have eyelash extensions. I love them because it makes my life so much easier. And I'm like a glam girl. I definitely like a look. Like when I go out, I want a lash on, you know? And so it makes my life so much easier. I'm also a blonde, and so I don't have like naturally long dark eyelashes like you do. And so it just makes my life a lot easier. But what I will say is they can be a pain in the butt. I mean, you have to go, I go every 3 to 4 weeks with my girl who's amazing. And, you make sure you gotta find a good person and keep up with it, look down. And they can, if you don't take good care of them. I just feel like so many people I see with them that just don't take good care of them, and then they look kind of crazy. Or they just don't go to somebody who's very experienced. And I've just seen a lot of horror stories. But if you find someone really good, and like I said, you're doing it to kind of make your life easier so that you can kind of just wake up and go, I do love
So
them
do you
for
not
that.
have like any lashes in right now? It's just your natural lashes plus the extensions?
Yeah, they're like I have lash extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Because it looks like you added like a fake lash to it.
No, because I definitely have her do them like a little bit more like what's the word? Dramatic.
Because they look great, and that has to be so convenient to not have to.
Oh, it's so convenient. Like I love it, but you just have to make sure you're consistent and you're not. I also will say I'm a back sleeper.
Okay.
And that really helps because I can go 3-4 weeks and I still have like a lot of lashes left, and I take really good care of them. If you're a stomach sleeper, I don't know how you would do it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely maintenance. I always say, like I said, it's a high maintenance thing to have like low maintenance lifestyle. It allows you to just wake up and be ready to go, but you gotta make sure you're on top of it.
For all these years, I thought like every time that you would come that you were doing like lashes, fake lashes.
Oh,
Even
really?
at like 5 a.m. I was like, wow, Courtney, like no matter what time, she wakes up and puts on her lashes. She's dedicated. Because they always look so good.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of individuals. So when I do lashes, we're just gonna put some, I love using trio lashes on you because it's a little bit faster than just a straight individual. Because there's like it's a little cluster of them, and then but it's much more natural than a strip. It also allows you to, like a strip, you kind of always have to worry about it. It's gonna like start to peel up or do something weird. When you have individuals on or like the trios, you never have to worry about that. Like those bad boys are not going anywhere.
I like the individuals when you do that.
Yeah.
The 3-packs.
Yeah, it's like the trio ones.
Yeah, they look really natural, more so than like a whole strip would.
Yeah, definitely. So I first put on a coat of mascara. Now sometimes the cardinal sin of, lashes used to be like, don't put mascara on and then curl them again, but if you're really careful. Okay, so I'm going to be using, we like doing these on days when you're like super natural, we just want to like enhance what you already got going on. It's not like a video shoot or anything like that. These are the Thrive Cosmetics, the brand that I work with all the time, and they did a little set that's named after me, the Courtneys.
Yay! The
So
Courtneys!
fun, the Courtneys. So we're gonna put the Courtneys on you, and these are just really nice. They're the trios, and they're just super natural. They just add a little bit of volume, but without making you look overdone. So I think that's the biggest thing with your glam is like we always want you to stay looking like still your age appropriate. We don't want you to look like super overdone or like not like yourself. We kind of always have strived to like keep it you, but just a little bit more enhanced.
And I feel like that's the hardest to do. Like a natural look it takes a lot of effort to look effortless and
100%. But it's easier to slap a bunch of makeup on than do something a lot more natural. Because I feel like when you're doing it more natural, you're kind of having to work with like different shapes and like carving the face, but in a way that, like I said, is done very naturally. Okay, so I go in with 3 of the long ones on the end, and then I just take one of the medium ones and I put that right in the center. So I basically am doing 4 total. So 3 longs and then 1 medium. And the reason I don't do any more than that open is because your lashes are actually so long on the inner corner, and I just kind of leave those natural. Because then this way it just gives a little bit of a lift on the edge of your eye, without, like I said, it having like look like a full strip or anything like that. And then I just do like one a little bit shorter in the center, just to kind of like blend it down into your natural lash.
What do you feel like is the hardest shoot to do? Like a music video, a photo shoot, a product shoot, or like something for an appearance, like a red carpet or something?
Definitely a red carpet. Because you can't, for all the other things that you just said, the photo shoots, the music videos, all of those things, I'm going to be on set with you. Therefore, I can do your glam, we can go to set, now I can look at you on camera, I can tweak things, I can be like, oh, you look a little shiny, or your lip doesn't quite look right, and I can make adjustments. And that, as an artist, is priceless, and also the reason why people obviously take, look that one, their artists to set, instead of just hiring them to do their makeup and leave, they bring them with, so then you can do tweaks, and like I said, like, look at it on camera and make sure it looks okay, and make sure that you don't have anything you want to change or adjust. Where a red carpet, once you are out of my hands, you are like just off in the wind, and anything, I have no control over the lights, I have no control over, you might get in the car and on the way over you decide to eat something and you mess up your lip gloss. Like, it's just one of those things where there's a lot of factors you can't control. A lot of times, and with people who do a lot of red carpets and appearances and that type of thing, they kind of start to know the lighting of different events. And certain events, like I said, have like better lighting. And they kind of, I feel like, you kind of start to kind of know, like, oh, this is a really harsh light, or this is, kind of blows everyone out, or, because sometimes I've even seen red carpets where it's a little dark, and then you're like, oh man, I feel like I needed to like go heavier on the makeup in order to see it. But you kind of like start to figure out all those things. But that's somebody who does like a ton of red carpets, but there's just so many factors, like I said, that you can't control, that you just don't know when you have a red carpet. I also will say, when you're doing a red carpet, to me, that's when you want to look the most like, just like flawless, because it's like a look, and it's just like one photograph where, like I said, if you're doing like a music video and you're, look up once, or you're in a photo shoot, and I can look at camera and touch things here and there, it's just so much different than when you're just off on your own.
Yeah, and you don't even see the photos at a red carpet until
they're
posted on Getty Images or whatever.
You're just like, oh shoot. And I've definitely had like in the beginning of my career. Not in the beginning, like I've had like, you know, like a blunder where nothing terrible, thank God. You know, there was like the infamous, I believe it was Nicole Kidman, who like had powder all over her face.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, it was like this famous kind of incident that happened where she had like white powder all over her face. And they discovered it was like this one powder that had like flashback or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
But also then like I heard rumors later that like she touched it up in the car. You know what I mean? Did like a quick little pat and like without her makeup artist, and then she went on the carpet. But I haven't had anything like that happen, but I've definitely had it where like one time I had a woman who didn't wear a lot of makeup. She definitely wanted to be like, she was like very, very natural. Like she didn't want blush, bronzer, like none of that.
Wow.
Like just skin, which can look very washed out. And she was like, I don't want to be shiny at all. And I kind of made the mistake of like making her really matte, which just looked so flat. And like, and also I forgot like how, you know, when you add contour and blush and all those things, it kind of brings life to your face.
Yeah.
When you don't have any of that, she looked so just pale and washed out. And I remember I saw the pictures and I like gasped. So I was like, oh my gosh, she just looks like she's like, just has no color in her face. And I was like, well, what did I do?
I feel like the point where I think I look the worst when I'm doing my makeup is after I've put on foundation and it's just all one solid color.
Exactly.
Like even your natural face I think looks better than
100%.
just having foundation on.
Definitely, because it just has, you have no dimension in your face.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of New Friends. I really hope you loved it. It would mean so much to me if you'd subscribe to my channel on YouTube and send this to someone who you think might enjoy it. Hope to see you in the next episode.